feet. 3, 2, 1.
Yep, that's me. Now, you might be wondering, how did I get to this point? It all started with a monk and a dream of timing this Halls of Atonement 10. But then, all hell broke loose when we missed an important kick.
Oh shit.
Followed up by scrambling around like eggs in a pan, starting to point fingers, and eventually middle fingers. But that's not all. I had other drama llamas in my dungeons, but also had some quite good moments by overcoming challenges that are normally quite difficult and reaching yet another milestone. Welcome! My name is Saloon. I'm uploading transmog related videos on Thursdays and Zero to Hero series on Sundays. Currently I'm going for 3000 rating as a Mistweaver Monk, a spec I've not played much previously. Last week I reached 2322 rating, timed my first +10, and I also bricked my own key. This week I was aiming for timing all 10s. Episode 4 has a bit of a miserable start, because RNGesus sent me a clear message after all the shit talk last week.
Don't mess with me, dog. I'm crazy.
He punished me really hard, not only with this horrendously terrible vault that had just straight up crap in it, where I was forced to take myth-track quests, but also this week is a time walking week finally. And I got nothing but Kuhfladen, which is German for cow shit, because this loot was so useless that calling it dog shit would have been not enough. I needed it to be like ×5, so that's how I ended up on Kuhfladen. Wow, saying that out loud sounds wrong. I don't mean I'm physically sitting on one right now, Jesus. I started out in a Floodgate once again, because I've seen it all in this dungeon. I'm super comfortable here. I like to start out with the dungeons I'm most confident in. This week's affix is the very much dreaded quote-unquote healer affix, where everyone should dispel themselves, but they never do, even if they are capable. Thankfully, as a Mistweaver, I have multiple ways to deal with this. On trash, with multiple targets, I was using Thunder Tea and cracked Jade Lightning combo, as it's almost powerful enough to get the absorb buff on its own. Or mostly on bosses I was using Shailun's gift. I also had revival for emergency cases, so yeah. As a Mistweaver I was not worried about this affix at all. There were some butt-clenching moments in this dungeon, such as this Blood Warper. I had to use everything here to keep us going. It was challenging, but kind of fun. I also got a new V-Cora to track my instant Vivify casts, and I wish I got this a lot sooner, because it was really useful to know when it's instant. I didn't play the third boss very well in my opinion. There were moments where I got hit by the wave a couple times, but I survived luckily. Also, big shout out to this prot pally who saved this warlock with lay on hands. I even complimented him afterwards, that was great. Thanks to amazing plays like that, we two-chested this key and I got... Yeah, my trinket luck has been used up on this trinket I don't need. I swapped my spec to Brewmaster for Delves to get better weapons. And I forgot to swap back. Oops. Alright guys, this is it. The Halls run from the intro. Get your popcorn and snacks ready so we can all watch the vault burn down around me. Halls of Atonement 10, the first of many. The tank goes very big right off the bat. And we missed one of the most important kicks in the dungeon, the Loyal Beast's Call. If this goes through, it will kill the tanks. The first one we kind of managed to deal with, but then
another one
went through, so the tank started to kite. While I understood that decision, and it was probably a smart choice, bro ran so far away from me so fast, while we got the affix as well, and everyone was running all over the place, and I just keep thinking,
why are you running? Why are you running?
So it was really hard to heal like this, but we didn't wipe. Then the next pack, the warlock intentionally pulled the shard, and this is where it all starts. The tank immediately called him out on it, but no response. Yet. The tank is doing another big pull, but makes the rookie mistake of turning his back to the pack. And
I like it cut, G.
Afterwards, the mage pipes up randomly and says, low FPS, and I thought, that's tough. But then he corrected himself to low DPS, and then I'm like, dude, you are the lowest on overall. You can't make this up, right? It's always the worst performers who talk loudest. Fascinating how this works out, but to be fair, he wasn't far off. I'd say all three of them were almost even. The tank shared his agreement with him, and keep this in mind. Now comes my favorite part. Our tank dies to the circle on the floor. So we are starting to kite back to the entrance, and this is where it becomes a show. The feral druid starts to crash out. I swear to God, it's always the feral druids, man. But I'm loving it. I was just, healing, vibing in the chaos, while these guys argue. I'm totally here for the drama, as long as I'm not involved. As a cherry on top, I die in a hilarious way. I just love the shitstorm to unfold. This is what I love about pugging the most. You never know what will happen. We abandoned the dungeon, as you can see, and I attempted this key 2 times more. In one, I heavily contributed in failing this dungeon by shooting out a chi orb.
No.
This caused 8 deaths. Yeah, I felt incredibly bad about this. In the other one, our tank pulled but didn't aggro anything because he was mounted, so I got clapped, which added 6 deaths. Then the third boss didn't go exactly well either. Then the next pack just went horribly wrong. I gave up on this key for this week because apparently Blizzard fixed a major bug for Master of Harmony hero talent tree for Mistweavers, which buffs us to heal more from the next reset onwards. So I figured I'll stop banging my head against this key until then. You know what else could use some buffs? My sub numbers. I can't even continue this with a straight face. I sound like a bad car salesman. Just subscribe if you haven't fallen over from cringe yet. Thanks. We are not done with the dungeon drama yet. I have some more tea to spill. Tazavash Street. The tank asked for lust, but starts losing his marbles when it didn't happen. So the shaman comes out, in caps, I am the lost, like Illidan in that cinematic. And I shit you not, they were bickering about this the entire key. It was so dumb, but we still two-chested the key despite all that, so who cares? The next dungeon was drama-free, but not smooth. In Eco Dome, as the second boss was spawning in, the warrior got knocked back into a trash pack, which turned out rather poorly for us. But even with the full wipe, we still timed this key. So that's Eco Dome done, finally. The next dungeons I'm very proud of. Let's start with Gambit. I was very nervous about this key. I find the start and the first was quite easy, but the dragon boss and the last boss always worries me a lot. This group, however, played this boss perfectly. I was pretty cool, calm and collected through that whole fight. The fire placement was on point, The breath was killing all the adds every time. We all stacked. I was perfectly able to manage the magic dot and the affix as well. And it was just perfect. Before the last boss, I kindly asked the mage if he could do the collapsing star for me, because that would make my job a lot easier. This mage absolutely delivered. I was so happy, I appreciated it so much. It truly made this boss so much easier for me healing wise. I felt like I had everything under control. It did get a tiny bit messy towards the end, because he ran out of my range and I died to a shooting star at the same time as the boss died too. But I got the Keystone Hero achievement. In case you didn't know, this achievement comes usually with special cosmetic reward, which unlocks extra glowing effects for tier shoulders and helmets for all classes. Some are more obvious than others, but they are there and I love them. Okay, the last dungeon was Ara Kara, the one I feared the most, as you may have guessed. We had a suspicious start at the beginning, as we were aiming for a big pull, and before we even got there, 2 people went down pretty much instantly, and the warrior died to the frontal as well for good measure. On the first boss, I went in with the strategy of stacking on the tank. I know I should help out with the adds, but for now I just wanted to practice the movement on the boss. Well, it didn't go exactly as I planned it, but it went a lot better than in the past, so I could hit the boss while dodging the circles, thus keeping the party a lot more reliably up than before. The DPS was also pretty good with dealing with the adds, so we were chilling the whole way through. This gave me a lot of confidence in actually timing this dungeon. The last boss was a mess. I got sucked in several times because nobody was killing the puddle dudes, and healing this with 2 other melee was just such a nightmare, a lot worse than the first boss. I was super overwhelmed the whole time, so we wiped on the first attempt because the tank died to the poison tick, I think. The second attempt went a bit better, but it was still a massive struggle to heal. I think in the future, if it's up to me, I'll avoid groups with 2 melees because this boss feels really difficult to heal like this. Unfortunately, I have some bad news. Not about this key, but about Dawnbreaker. You see, I did that dungeon as well, but unfortunately I forgot to press record, which is a real shame because I was using the Conduit of Celestial's hero talents for that key, and I wanted to show off the difference and how hard it was to heal that key. But alas, I'm just an idiot at the end of the day. We did time the Dawnbreaker, but yeah, sadly no footage. We also managed to time this Ara Kara, thankfully. I was so happy that I was able to do this dungeon on the first try. So, after upgrading everything I could, I ended this week on 707 item level and a score of 2586. Next week I want to progress my own key to 12 and start doing 12s because especially after the Monk hotfix, I feel ready for having no annoying affixes in my keys. I really don't want to touch 11s, but that brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a comment, subscribe, press the hype button if you're on phone. I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye bye!